Defense wins championships. It also could win you a fantasy game. So this is 5 defenses I'm going to start this week in fantasy football. The first one is the New England Patriots. They might be owned in a lot of leagues and started, but they got an insane matchup versus the New York Jets, who give up the 3rd most fantasy points to defenses. And New England, I know the last 3 weeks they haven't really been putting up points, but this is an amazing matchup. The Jets, they don't move the ball. Their team's banged up. Adam Gase is a horrible head coach. Patriots are going to feast on Sam Darnold like they usually do. So I could see them get a pick 6 and a couple sacks and stuff. So the Patriots, they could be in for a big week with 15 to 20 points at the defensive position. The next defense I'm going to start is the Washington football team. And they surprisingly have been pretty good on the season. And their ownage went up 16%. They were my #1 waiver wire defense to add this week. So go check that video out if you need some help with defenses. But anyway, last time they played was in week 7 versus the Dallas Cowboys, and they salvaged a monster game, only giving up 3 points with 6 sacks, an intho, and a safety. So they got the Giants coming up, which is a team prone for turnovers and giving up picks and stuff. Daniel Jones is a turnover machine. Washington, they could definitely get a pick 6 or something in this game, even though last time versus the Giants they only had 4 fantasy points, was the Washington team. But they're getting better as the weeks go on, and I like a lot of Washington, these guys, to start this week in my leagues. I have them in all my starts, so roll with the Washington defense. And the 3rd defense I'm going with is the Giants in the same game. They played pretty well versus Tampa Bay. They came off a good defensive performance, is the New York Giants. They couldn't get the job done, but the defense kept them in it. Their defense is better than their offense, I think. The last few weeks they've had decent performances, and in week 6 when they did versus Washington, the Giants, they had 3 sacks, an intho, a fumble recovery touchdown, and only gave up 19 points. So I could see something similar again for the Giants in this game versus the Washington football team. So they could get you 10 to 15 maybe in this game. So their defense I'm going to start. The 4th defense is the Arizona Cardinals. After coming off a tough game where they pulled it out versus the Seattle Seahawks and then going on bye, this defense should be well rested. And now they got a Miami team they're versing with a rookie quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa, who looked horrible in my opinion in his debut start last week versus the Los Angeles Rams. And this week it's going to be more trouble, I think, offensively for Tua and the Dolphins. This Arizona team, they could get to the quarterback. They got ball hawks in Buda Baker and Patrick Peterson. I know Chandler Jones is out for the year, but it doesn't matter. In this matchup, they're at home, quick turf. They're going to try to get to Tua early and often and rattle the young rookie up. So I like Arizona's chances of maybe getting a pick 6 or something this week is the 4th defense. And the 5th and final one is the Houston Texans. Their defense that I said go pick up for the week, but in ownage-wise, they've been horrible. They're one of the worst defenses in the league, but they did go up 10% in ownage this week is Houston. And now they got the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are starting a rookie quarterback, and I think he's going to be in a long day with J.J. Watt and that Texan D-line. The Texans, they've been playing tougher over the last few weeks since Bill O'Brien got fired. And their last matchup versus this Jacksonville team in week 5, they did have 9 fantasy points with 2 fumble recoveries, 4 sacks, and 14 points allowed. So I expect Houston to put up a similar performance and maybe even getting a pick 6 or 2 versus the rookie quarterback. So that's 5 defenses I'm going to start this week in week 9.